The attention-thirsty president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, endeavored to start a major conflict between Russia and NATO. But the sharp rebuke he encountered hasn't been seen since the war began. European nations were already indirectly engaged in the Ukraine war, but this time Zelensky wished to pull them directly into the conflict. Western leaders saw through what Zelensky was intending to do and softened their stance on Moscow. And now, they're finally abandoning Kyiv. Hi and welcome to TFIGlobal, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI media group. I'm your host, Atul Mishra. Let's begin. Remember how World War I started. After Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria was killed in 1914, World War, commonly known as the Great War, started. His assassination sparked a war in Europe that raged until 1918. Something similar was attempted by Ukraine in the last few days. The world was shocked by a missile attack in eastern Poland, about 15 kilometers from Poland's border with Ukraine. 2 civilians were killed in the strike. Within hours, Zelensky hurried to blame the missile strike on Russia. Blaming Russia for a strike in a NATO country comes with repercussions. There is this infamous Article 5 of NATO that is based on the principle of collective defense. It binds all the members of the said military alliance, as it says that an attack on one ally will be considered an attack against all. After staying 7 days in YT jail, we are back. We don't know if they'll allow us to stay peacefully. We don't know when the next ban will be announced. And that's why you must download the TFI app. Apple users can simply go to the App Store, search for TFIGlobal and install the app. And since Google Play has banned us, Android users can download the app from the link in the description. We are in for a long haul and only your support can help us fight this war. So all the NATO members would be forced to go to war against Russia. Following reports of the missile hitting the town of Shevardov, the Defense Ministry in Moscow confirmed on Tuesday that Russia had not launched any attacks against target close to the Polish-Ukrainian border. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the missile was fired from a Ukrainian S-300 system. However, one would expect Russia to deny the allegations. Then Western leaders chose not to make hostile charges against Russia. And that is not something we have seen after the war. According to the US Department of Defense, there is no evidence to support accusations that a Russian missile hit Polish soil. President Joe Biden stated that preliminary data suggested that the missile's origin was not Russian. In addition, he alerted the G7 leaders that what may have crashed in Poland may have been a Ukrainian air defense missile, as Reuters later reported. Kyiv was aiming to coerce the NATO alliance into fighting its own war, though no one fell for Zelensky's trickery. The attempt to start World War III was condemned by people all around the world, including some US Republican Party members who decided to stop giving Ukraine tens of billions of dollars in military funding. Former US Department of Defense officer and EMP Task Force member David T. Pine told Sputnik that NATO members should prioritize their own defense rather than militarizing Ukraine in light of the Polish missile incident. Pine said, even after he was presented with evidence that it was one of their own missiles, Ukrainian President Zelensky continued to claim that it was a Russian terror attack on Poland in the hopes that he could persuade NATO to escalate its proxy war against Russia. Adriel Casonta, a political analyst who once served as the Bo Group think tank's International Affairs Committee head, took a jibe at Poland, which has sent the most weapons in Europe to Ukraine. If Polish air defense was good, it was meeting a military standard. It should see what happened, predict what happened, and provide the answers, Casonta said. Casonta added, they are not willing to sacrifice the well-being of their own households at the expense of some war that could have been easily prevented if the West, and especially the United States, would have granted a security guarantee to Russia. Zelensky's attempt to make Western countries fight this war has fallen flat on his face. Western countries have seen the crookedness of Zelensky and are no longer willing to join his forces.